Doing today, I'm going to show you how to make a wavy border. So if you see here, I've done this great flag border, which really it's wonderful not just for patriotic, but if you're doing military pages or you visited Mount Rushmore or the Statue of Liberty, there's so many ways you can do this, marching bands, parades. So anyway, a nice little patriotic border. We're going to show you how to make that. So what I'm going to do is just turn the camera down so that you can see what it is I'm working on. And to make this, you really just need three things. You need 3 pieces of cardstock. So I've got this beautiful Creative Memories Crimson Red. I've got a sheet of navy blue. And then I've got a piece of white cardstock. And the white cardstock will simply serve as the base of your card. So as you're making your card, what you will need actually is the blue part is 6 inches and the red and white stripes are also 6 inches. So I'm making this for a 12-inch scrapbook page. So I'm just going to start out with my red and blue paper. I want to cut them to be 6 inches. So I've got my Creative Memories 12-inch trimmer here, and I'm just going to fold out the ruler. And as you see, let me get this on, you have a ruler that goes across the top of the page, so it makes it very easy to get exact cuts with your paper. So I'm going to go ahead first and cut the red to 6 inches so I can make my 6-inch borders. Okay, so I've got this 6-inch piece of paper, and I'm going to want to make sure that I cut my stripes or my waves down the 6-inch side. And then I'll do the same with my blue. Just going to cut it so I put it right on the 6-inch mark of the ruler. Let me make sure I've got that on screen so you can see it. So 6-inch mark, and I just cut the 6-inch piece of paper. So now I'm actually done using this. I'm just gonna set it to the side. And now what I'm gonna get out is this 12-inch decorative trimmer. So I actually have an older model of this. The new one is white, just like the 12-inch trimmer I was using, which makes it actually much easier to see the grid, the numbers, the ruler grid across the top. But this still works perfectly fine, and it uses the same interchangeable blades, so you can, I've probably had this for 15 years or so. So I've got my 6-inch piece of paper, and what I want is to make a kind of 3-inch wave. So as you can see here, I've got the ruler. This is where the wave cuts, and I'm just gonna count over 1, 2, 3 inches. So I'm gonna put this down, and I just press slightly, gently, run it down, and I've got now the blue part of my flag. Now I'm going to cut the red part, and so these red stripes will be a little bit smaller. So as you'll recall, I've got 2 stripes, so one of them we want to have a straight border and the other will have wavy cuts on both sides of it. So I'm going to make these 1-inch borders, so I'm just going to look under here to line this up exactly at 1 inch. Get my blade at the top, and I'm going to run that down. So I've got my first wave here, and then for the second wave I need the wavy cut on both sides, and I want these to fit together perfectly. So I'll use this as my first cut, and then the ruler also extends to the right, so you can measure left or right. And so what I'm going to do is move this so I have about 1 inch again. And I'm just gonna cut. So there we have it. I've got all of my pieces. So now I'm just going to lay down my white cardstock, and I'm going to do this upside down so that you can see it. So I'll start out using my repositional tape runner by Creative Memories. So I just add a little bit of tape. You don't need too much tape. Line up my corners. And then what I want to do is I want to make sure that I get this wave running in the right direction. If I had this flipped the wrong way, my waves may not run in the right direction. So as you can see, you need to make sure that you get these so they're going the same way. So I like to lay them both down first, just again to make sure that I've got everything right so I don't tape something down and then regret it because I put it on upside down. So just going to add in some of my red stripe there. Again, flip this over with the tape. And I'm going to tape that down. So I've got that going. Now to make the stars, I actually have this star punch. So if you don't have a star punch, you could just freehand cut your stars. It would give a little bit of a rustic look, but I'm going to use this punch. So that just punched out this star. I punched out the other 4 earlier. And then again, what I like to do is just lay things down first so I get a sense of what it's going to look like. And somehow I lost a star, but have no fear. I'm just going to punch another one quickly. Okay, there we go. And then I'll just tape those stars down. Now you could actually also just cut along here to have the border separate if you wanted to use it on a different color paper, or if you were doing a layout, you could then just mat and lay your pictures down here for a really, really nice layout. I didn't get that one on, but that's okay. What I want to do now is just show you some other ideas that I've done with the wavy border. So here's another border that I've done, and this one I cut the green cardstock out with the wavy border, and then I took a piece of white cardstock and cut it just slightly smaller. So this one is about 2.5 inches, the green, and then the white one is about 2.25 inches. I used one of my punches to make this beautiful vine and then just taped down some paper flowers. So, and this is a border, you could use it at the bottom of your page, or really you could use it across the top of the page. So I have a few more borders to show you. I will say, if you're on and watching, make sure that you actually comment or like, so I'll know you're there, so you'll get your name in the drawing bucket for free prizes. This is one of my favorite borders that I made. I used the wavy border and just cut different colors of blue and layered them in different ways. And then I used the same vine punch, but just cut them in small pieces to make the seaweed. And then I put these little fish on there. So this would be great if you've been scuba diving or a day at the beach. Again, this is a bottom border that you can put on. And then going with the beach theme, again, just water. And then I had this brown paper. I thought it looked like sand, so I cut that out. And here I've used my Creative Memories border maker system to cut out flip-flops, but you could actually put stickers, or you could stamp, or you could just have the sand in the wavy water if you didn't have those border makers. But again, this would make a really fun border for beach pages. And then this one I did, it's a little bit smaller. I cut it up to use on a card, but this is a border maker. I've used the new Creative Memories lace trim cartridge. It just came out, the border maker cartridge, and then I've used this sort of rainbow array of photos. So I think I love this paper, this new paper. This is a Fresh Fusion, and this new punch. You're probably going to be seeing a lot of rainbows in my cards and layouts in the near future. And then finally, this is just super easy border that I made. Again, you could cut these any size too if you wanted to use them on cards or smaller Facebook pages. This is 12 inches, but I just did the green wave, and then behind it I used a brown piece of paper to cut out, actually using the border maker system, the car cartridge. It was brown, and then I cut some out from different colors of paper and just cut the little individual cars out and taped them down to give it some color. As soon as I made this border, I knew exactly what I wanted to do with it. So I've made this page actually, which is just pictures of my brother who was car obsessed when he was little, and he loved all things cars. So I made this great layout, and then I'll be actually placing this border at the bottom for this really fun car layout page. So that's my